Welcome to the Karyn Reece Show. I'm psychic medium Karyn Reece, and today I'm with my wonderful co-host Alexis Zappia, aka known as Watson. So, Watson, what would you like to share today?
Yeah, so one thing that I've been more into now, especially because we've been doing it, is podcasting, which is super fun. And I feel like, especially in the last year or however long it's been, that we've had to physically be distant. That podcasting is a way that people would connect in ways that they've never have before. So I think that people really thought that this was like a very difficult time, and it was because we physically can't be together. But instead of looking at the negative, flipping it around and looking at the positive and how many ways we actually can be connected.
Oh, it's amazing too, and there's a lot more podcasts that have
Yeah.
results. So it's actually a win-win situation.
And for the podcasters like us or other people who do it, it's so fun. If you have the right co-host, that is. But like, because no, seriously, because it could really be terrible if you don't.
And good equipment too. You got to reliable.
Yeah.
But you don't have to go really expensive.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you literally, it could be poor quality, but you could literally just talk into the voice recorder on your phone. The way we do it, it's a little bit different. You know, we do it on Zoom, and we have the video and the audio component so people can hear if they choose on like a Spotify, Apple Music, things like that. Or they have the YouTube component where they can actually see the interview and the reading go down, and then it's uploaded right to YouTube. It's like you're watching TV just in a digital way, which is really cool. The ratings on all of these podcast networks, the people, the users, and the downloads of these apps have soared astronomically because of a way to connect, and people just have nothing else to do. Listen to a podcast.
Restricted by time either.
No.
Pick up a recorded podcast.
And it's one of those things that you can do passively too, as well as actively. So like often, like if I'm working out, like I'll just have a podcast in my ear, right? I'll be doing my own thing and have a podcast in my ear. I'll be cleaning and I'll have a podcast in my ear. You don't need to be sitting down and like watching a TV show or watching, to be engaged. You can air it whenever. You can listen to it at 3 a.m. or 10 o'clock at night. It just is up to you. So it meets you where you are. Stay tuned for more from the Karyn Reece Show. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. We are so excited to have our next guest with us, Alaeddin. I actually found when I was casting for a show, Don't Forget the Lyrics, and he is just so wickedly talented. I love him. So, welcome to the show. We are so excited to have you with us.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's great to see you two again.
Wow, we love you, and you will love him too, everybody. So here's a quick question. How did you get started in music? And did you ever think you would be as successful as you are today? Because you're out there.
Thank you. So I used to, I was raised in a very musical family. My mother was a voice major. So to prevent us three boys from being at each other's throats, she would get us into medleys, madrigals, and all these little rounds, all these different ways of singing to keep us preoccupied. But I really fell in love with it when I got my first piano. I think it was around 9 o'clock. I was 9 years old, and I had these dreams of playing the Jordanian national anthem for the king, which is basically 7 words long. But that was my that was all I knew as far as what stardom was. But yeah, I guess deep down inside, I've always wanted to pursue this this journey of making people happy by performing.
I love it. So you're often seen as playing Freddie Mercury in the cover band, which is so cool because that's so cool. The King of Queens. And now that you play him on stage, has the way you looked at him or your perceptions of him changed since you've been playing him? Or have you become more of like, I'm going to use the term fangirl since you become Freddie Mercury?
Such a good question. I gotta say.
It's an excellent question. I was raised in Saudi Arabia, and so they have a very, well, let's just say conservative, ultra conservative culture, and so Queen didn't really make it to that country, and so I didn't have a lot of exposure to Queen. I knew who they were, I knew of Freddie Mercury, but there was definitely a big distance between me and their music, and so it was only through the last few years where I really started to develop a deep appreciation for Freddie Mercury. And after watching the movie, it really impacted me greatly as to what he might have been going through. Because you see a star like Freddie Mercury, you think, how can anything go wrong for the guy? Of course, we know how he passed away, which was totally tragic. But even the years leading up to it, I always thought that, this sounds like this is the perfect life to lead, and really made me think twice about not pursuing music, but just who you associate yourself with. I think in the music industry, you can find some really bad apples. And so it helped me become extremely careful as to who I associate with in our industry.
A very interesting
Yeah.
point, because I'm sure people don't really look at, the industry the way that you did, or, currently do. So that's actually really smart. Here's another quick question too. As an artist, one's perceptions tend to be more evolved than, the typical Joe Blow. There's a thing called synesthesia. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's where you have a crossover of your senses. So in other words, you might play, a piece of music, and while you're playing it, I might taste, pizza all of a sudden. Just as an example, I actually have this, like when people, as a kid, I would learn numbers and dates and times. And even to this day, like if somebody says Wednesday, I see a certain shape and a certain color, and, those types of things. So do you have any of that type of condition, shall we say? Have you ever had that experience with one of your senses, how they may cross over?
So, if I were to think hard about that one, because that's interesting, I tend to always get hungry after singing. That's for sure. But as far as crossover, I'm gonna have to be more mindful of that, because no, I haven't come across that. It's a very interesting concept.
She literally asked me this question the other day when we were writing, and she's like, yeah, so let's ask him this. And I literally looked at her and I was like, I don't know what you're saying. Like,
Yes.
you don't make sense right now.
Not a very wide common, I guess you'd say, condition or whatever, but
ability. I would call it an ability.
it is an ability,
I would
because
call
it
it an
really is.
ability.
It's just when you perceive something, what you should normally perceive, your another sense is taking over. Like literally, if you play music, I might smell, say flowers, which aren't in the room, that type of thing. And it's not because I'm equating that, maybe somebody in my life used to play guitar and, I also would get flowers. It's just, just a little quirk, just an added extra quirk, but it's very common with artistic people.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be mindful of that one.
Watch, you're gonna play something today, and you're gonna start seeing things, and you're like, oh my god, I have synesthesia.
Synesthesia.
It's hard to say too.
Synesthesia, yeah, it's
Synesthesia.
Yes, it's a tongue twister.
Synesthesia. There we go.
Yeah, good job.
It only took a lip major to figure that
In
one
a different
out.
sense, too. Yeah. Now, with your own music, as time has marched on, have you evolved, or do you still maintain your own, initial musical, quality? I guess I don't even know what the word.
Like, I guess is your style
style,
yes, to fit the times, or have you been pretty consistent?
Because what you do is amazing.
Oh, thank you. I've always been very fearful of the next song. So I'll finish up a song, and my circle will start telling, this is the best song you've released. I'm like, oh no, oh dear. So maybe this is the last good song I'm ever going to write. So there's always that fear. So you always want to reinvent yourself with every new song, not to change your genre, not to change your style, but even the way you're going to approach a song. So I've got a new song that's coming out. It's called Yours. It's a sweet love song. And it wasn't so much about the melody, even though I really love the melody. It was stretching my vocal range. And so I'm hitting these crazy high notes that a sane human being would say, why would I do this? Because if I do this on record, that means I have to perform it live. And I'm actually opening for The Calling. I don't know if you guys remember The Calling from the 90s, but I'm opening for them August 21st with my rock opera band. And so we're going to be playing that one song. And now, instead of worrying about doing a great job in total, I'm just worried about how am I going to nail that chorus. But I think to do the unthinkable, to push yourself and to be the best version of yourself, I think that's all you need to keep improving as a musician. It's really easy to get comfortable, to get complacent, and to just stick to the same formula. But I think approaching each song as a new challenge is extremely important.
So Emo is so great. I've had the privilege to listen to him when I was casting and now post cast. But do you have something to sing for us? I would love to hear something that you have prepared for us.
And wait, are you going to sing it with your chest or your head or all of the above?
I will. Yeah, it's a great question, by the way. A lot of it's going to be chest voice. I'm going to sing you guys Dream On by Aerosmith. Then there's that crazy high note. So you go into pharyngeal with that one. Just to give you guys a warning, I'm coming off of singing a 2-hour Queen show on Saturday, a 2-hour Who show on Sunday, and then doing that event on Monday. So no excuses, but I just want to give you guys the disclaimer. See how I do. Here we go. Aerosmith. Every time that I look in the mirror, all these lines, my face getting clearer. Past is gone. Oh, it went by like dust at dawn. Isn't that the way? Everybody's got his dues and love to pay. I know, and nobody knows where it comes or where it goes. I know everybody's saying you gotta lose to know how to win. Half my life's in books, written pages. Lived and learned from fools and from sages. You know it's true. All the things come back to you. Oh, sing with me, sing for sing for the land, sing for the tear. Sing with them just for today. Maybe tomorrow the good Lord will take you away. Yeah, yeah. Dream on, dream on, dream on. Dream until your dreams come true. Yeah. Dream on, dream on, dream on. Dream until your dreams come true. Oh, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on, dream on. Whoa, sing with me, sing for the earth, sing for the land, sing for the tear. Sing with me just for today. Maybe tomorrow the good Lord will take you away. Sing with me, sing for the earth, sing for the land, sing for the tear. Sing with me just for today. Maybe tomorrow the good Lord will take you away. Yeah, yeah.
Bravo.
You're so good, Emo. You're so good.
You are amazing.
Oh my
Good
God,
talent.
Emo, I could listen to you all day. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are so glad that you were here with us, and we've gotten to know you both musically and personally. And let's work on getting you for the Bills, because we could be here in Buffalo. So thanks so much, Emo.
Love you.
Thank you both. So great to see. Love you too. Bye.
Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. As always, anytime Karyn's around, spirit's around. So if you would like to win a reading with Karyn, you can enter on our website at www.karynreece.com. You can send us an email, Karyn, Karyn, and then the little @ karynreece.com, KarynReece.com. You can also write to us on Facebook, which is at Karyn Reece, Psychic Medium, or on Instagram and Twitter at Karyn Reece. In your submission, make sure you put your first and last name, your email address, your phone number, and why you deserve to win a reading. So today we have a very lucky winner with us, Michelle, who wrote into us via email. So Michelle, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you, girls, for having me. I love you both.
Oh, we love you
We
too.
certainly love you. So all your dead people that are coming up as we speak.
Get away.
Quick question. I'm pulling in a strong grandmother on your mom's side, but I got your dad's side coming in too. Did your dad pass? Yes? No, that's him. Okay, because he said right away, I want to talk to my daughter. Yeah, because he said, Dad, then I started hearing grandpa, because he goes, I want to talk to my daughter. Do you know your dad visits you all the time in your dreams?
I hope he does. Yeah.
You don't remember them. So what you want to do, he says, of course. He goes, I love you. You actually look like your dad. You remind me a lot of your father. Did he tell you that? Yes.
Yeah.
And did you tattoo with your father in mind yet? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, because he loves it. And did you put one with hearts on it or something? Would you have
No.
hearts? Yeah, because he said something with hearts. So at some point I see a tattoo with a heart connection. That might be part of your tattoo repertoire from what he's telling me. So what's the October-November connection, the fall connection? Was it his birthday or passing, or who's got that as a birthday or passing or anniversary?
There's birthdays in October and passing in November. November was my grandma on my mom's side. She passed.
I came in right at, yeah, because he was saying birthdays and passings, and he says very active time during that part of the time. Your father tells me, do you like to just take road trips just for fun, like local road trips, just to clear your mind?
I used to when I was younger. Yeah. I would just kind of get in the car and drive.
Yeah, your father's laughing about that. He says, when you go out of body, I know, and he said, I do that too. So apparently you meet up with your dad and the two of you just go for like little drives around, your father's neighborhood. Because on the other side, you have a house, you have neighborhoods, a whole 9 yards that we have here.
Mhm.
People don't realize it, but we really do. And your father's laughing about that. He says you are an incredible daughter to have, and that you have no idea how much you really touch people deeply, because you're all about your heart and soul in this lifetime. What you see is what you get. And your father says sometimes you don't give yourself enough credit. And you're the type of person that would give your shirt off your back. Don't do it in winter, it's cold, just saying.
Nobody wants to see that.
It'll be a little chilly. Yeah, exactly. Hey, did you like to bowl, or was your father the bowler? Do you bowl?
My parents used to bowl.
Okay, because he's laughing about bowling. He says you should take up bowling too, is what your dad said to tell you. He's laughing about that. What's the April or May? Is that your birthday? I'm looking at your dad as we speak.
May, my daughter's birthday.
He said spring. Yeah, it says April. But yeah, tell your daughter happy birthday. And he said daughter. She's beautiful. She's really smart though. Like she's
Super smart.
really smart. And
Like
she,
scary smart.
yeah, she's Einstein, and she's very mature for her age. I mean, she does some kid things, but you're really dealing with like a 40-year-old in a little person's body. That's what your father said. You don't have a son, do you?
No.
You will in the future. There's like a son or stepson in your future. So I keep saying like a son connection. That's why I said no. But he says coming up, coming up, coming up.
Oh boy.
Your father's also talking about fixing a step or something. Is there like a step out of your house or step up to your house? Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, there's two things. We need a ramp on our front steps, but maybe my sister, because she almost fell down the stairs yesterday. So
he said that. He said, my daughter, something about the step, or watch the step, or fix the step. That's what he's talking about. He said, like,
I told my sister she needs a slide instead of stairs because she doesn't do well with stairs.
your father said, and I agree. That's what he was referencing, something about the step, fixing the step or not falling. That's hilarious.
That's
Your
so
dad
funny.
was there. He says, I see everything. Is there a Alicia or Lisa connection too? Alicia or Lisa, is that you or your sister? As you're saying your sister, I saw that name around her. So keep that.
Okay.
If it's her friend, it'll be your friend too. Like I want to say like an Alicia, Felicia, or unless she says bye Felicia, but I keep getting your Felicia kind of things. My Felicia, as you fall down those bloody steps, your dad's laughing about that.
Bye, Felicia. Peace out on the little slide. Bye, Felicia. That is so funny.
And your dad thinks it's hilarious too. You're posting this
That's
there.
so funny.
He said he's just having a good time. He says, everything's, we're all doing what we're supposed to do over here, and he says he doesn't have to work. He says they got the best restaurants, just so you know. So one of the things I see you and your daughter doing are very artsy fartsy things too. So crafties and painting and things like that, so it makes sense because people that are artistic tend to be very psychic because you're out of your right mind. See how lucky you are? You're out of your right mind.
Thanks. How are you?
And hang on, Daddy. Well, your father's talking really fast. Same with your grandparents. All they Who's the William, like a Bill or a Will? Was that a friend of your dad's or who's that?
My dad's friend, Bill.
Yeah, he's still living?
Yes.
Because he said you can always talk to Bill, a good friend. So if you need something, like you kids, like how to fix a stair. Oh, your sister just needs to learn how to walk down the stairs.
Yeah, she does.
Laughing about that, Wait till you tell your family with Dad. He thinks it's hilarious.
I can't wait.
But he says you can always check with Bill about things too. Whatever you need, he goes, because Bill knows. He's a good source, But your dad said, I don't want you kids to worry about a thing. He says, go and enjoy your life. He said, you're going to have opportunities to really do fun things. And he said, one thing I learned, and that explains why he said, over here, I don't work as much as he enjoyed working, didn't know how not to work. He said, looking back now, you got to really stop and smell the roses. Man, who's Dave? Was that a friend of your dad's too, or your friend, Dave? David?
My sister, it's my sister's husband, Dave.
Okay, because he said something in relative to that. I couldn't hear him clearly. I thought he said son-in-law, but I said he goes, no. I'm like, okay, close. Dave's a good guy too. You can count on Dave for some things too if you have questions. He said Dave's pretty knowledgeable. So, you kids, your father feels good that you kids know what you're doing. He said, my greatest, concern is, you want your kids to be happy. You want nothing to come. And he said, but if you have an issue, you know where to go. There's people you can count on, because you always would ask your dad. Dad, how do I fix the stair? How do you do this or that? Because your dad, he's a really smart man. Your father's
very smart, and he knew everything. He knew anything and everything. He was always everybody's go-to.
That's, yeah, I picked that up with your dad. Like, he's right on point, but that's where you kids get it from. And he said, so I just want you kids to be happy, enjoy your lives. He says, don't sweat the small stuff. And he said, you have a lot of great things ahead of you. You're going to do a lot with arts and crafts with your daughter, though, and also paranormal investigation. So you girls will have a blast. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. It's Ghostly Gregory today. Wait, he's ghosting me. Is that like the new romantic term where they don't show
That
up?
is a term.
Love in the afterlife. Also, is there a Sioux connection, or was your mother close to a Susan, or you? Someone's got a Sioux connection.
I have a cousin on my mother's side named Sue in the living.
Yeah, that's why. No wonder I felt like you're both connected, because I saw, you connected with cousin Sue and just doing some family get-togethers as time goes on. Your father said, even though you may not realize I'm around you, he said, trust me, I am. And the way for you to know is when you think of your dad out of the blue, that's your dad talking to you. By the way, he says it's really funny about your sister in the stairs. He goes, thank God you didn't get hurt, but he goes,
yeah.
He's laughing. He goes, yeah, she can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. Your grandpa's laughing, and so's your grandma. So your life overall looks good. Dad says just enjoy, and you've got great opportunities, and I see you traveling with your sister and your families and all sorts of fun things ahead of you. And your dad said never look back. He says keep your eye on the ball in the front, and when things go down, he says they'll go back up. Your father has a really good disposition about life. He was a hard guy. Your dad, tough, smart, nothing stopped him. He's a manly man. He just goes for it. He goes, and you have that ability to. Don't let anything hold you back. That's your father. You have a lot of your dad in you.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us today. And hopefully this gave you the peace and healing that you needed. As always, Karyn, thank you. And Michelle, thank you. Welcome back to the Karyn Reece Show. As always, if you would like to connect with Karyn, you may do so by visiting her website at www.karynreece.com, spelled KarynReece.com. You can also call our office phone at 716-580-2520. if you would like to book a reading with Karyn, or even if you have a question. You can also visit her on Facebook at Karyn Reece Psychic Medium, or on Twitter and on Instagram at Karyn Reece.
Another fun show.
Yes, I love it. So as we talked about, like, we have a podcast.
Yes, we do. We've had some amazing people on.
We've had Dolvette Quince, who is my favorite.
That man is incredible.
Yes.
He is just, he's heaven on earth.
I love him.
We've got more interesting people coming up.
We do.
Guest in the next however many podcasts that we have. There's a lot of them. So.
Yes, we have a lot pre-done. So make sure you tune in and you watch and you stay tuned to social, because we will definitely be posting it there.
And if you'd like to maybe nominate a few guests that you'd like for us to host on our show or have on.
Yeah. That'll be awesome. Send us an email. So Alexa, Alexa, at KarynReece.com, KarynReece.com. So make sure you just put that in there, and we'll get to those, and we'll try to get them on the podcast. So thank you guys for such an amazing show as always, and tune in next week for yet another episode.